All right. Hello, Mid-Atlantic Symphony community. Mike Repper here, music director of the Mid-Atlantic Symphony, and I am so thrilled to be joined by Jeffrey Biegel, the guest soloist for our exciting season finale, which is coming up this May. And both Jeffrey and I are coming to you from hotel rooms across the country, as touring musicians do. But we're so thrilled to be just talking about our great concert. And Jeffrey, we're so excited to have you because this concert, this Rhapsody in Red, White, and Blue is a fantastic project that really you spearheaded. Can you tell us just a little bit about the project and how it came to be? And
Yeah, I mean, I've done these projects for about 25 years. So I was thinking even in 2017, I remember back then I was doing Chris Theophanidis' concerto and the PDQ Bach concerto. That was actually Peter's last piece as it came to be. And I thought it'd be interesting to celebrate the centennial of Rhapsody in Blue in 2024, and just how to do that, I wasn't quite sure. And so 2017 passed, 2018. By the end of 2019, the wheels started to turn, and I thought we'd do something different, maybe have a new Rhapsody by a living composer. What has music been like since 1924? And I wasn't quite sure who to ask. There were a few people that I thought about, and then I thought, well, I don't know if that's going to fit. And then I went to Peter Boyer, whose Ellis Island, Dream of America, has had over, I don't know, 200 or 300 performances so far. And he's been writing very much in that American-themed, American landscape sound. And I proposed the idea to him, and he actually said no. And he says, I'm just going to be compared to Gershwin. It's a real death threat. It's not, I don't know if I want to do that. But it took time for me to convince him that he was the right person for this task. And I basically said to him at one point, when George Gershwin went to Paris to study with Maurice Ravel just a little bit, he wanted to learn a bit more about orchestration. He did orchestrate Rhapsody in Blue. He just didn't get it all done quick enough and had Grofé help him out and finish scoring for the 23 players because he did Concerto in F the year after. So he knew what he was doing. And Ravel said to him, yeah, you're very successful. I hear you make a lot of money. I probably should be studying with you. Why don't you think about being a first-rate Gershwin and not a second-rate Ravel? And I said to Peter, it's a lesson to be learned 100 years later. Why don't you just focus on being a first-rate Boyer and not a second-rate Gershwin? And the whole piece is so remarkable because it tips the hat to Gershwin. It also tips the hat to, as I've learned the piece, to music after Gershwin. The jazz improv combos like Vince Guaraldi and Claude Bolling and Aaron Copland and the cinematic sound of John Williams. It doesn't sound like them, but it gives you a feeling of tipping the hat to them.
Absolutely. I mean, it is uniquely Boyer for sure. And it's definitely, I've enjoyed learning it myself. And this piece backwards and forwards because part of the project and one of the things that's most special about it was that, your idea that it should be, it's called Rhapsody in Red, White, and Blue, right?
Yes.
And we're celebrating a big anniversary for Gershwin and for Rhapsody in Blue, but the whole idea is to have the piece played in each of the 50 states. Exactly. And it's miraculous and very inspiring how well you've put that together. So I believe the Mid-Atlantic Symphony is coming maybe a halfway through or maybe 2/3 of the way through.
Not even. This is a 3 to 4 year endeavor, but this is like performance here in North Dakota numbered orchestra. The performances are like 20 or 21, but it's only been about a dozen states so far.
Dozen states. Okay, so
this is an originally I conceived 50 states after I did the Ellen Zwillick Millennium Project, which had half the country. And it was around November 2000. And I decided to put together a 50-state project without orchestras having to pay for it. And Charles Strauss's Concerto America was the piece. And Boston Pops was doing the world premiere and Honolulu Symphony. Then 9/11 happened, and I decided to just dismantle that thought and put it away for a rainy day. And then COVID became that rainy year or 2 or 3. And I brought back the 50 states, not knowing it would end up being the 50 states, but the theme of it being coming out of a health crisis as COVID, and orchestras not working and losing money. I thought, well, let me raise the money for this and see what happens. So I was able to get the orchestras to come on to the project to celebrate coming back and celebrate America. I came up with the title Red, White, and Blue because of the flag, and it holds us together somehow. And it's really meant to unite us as Americans through music. So it grew and grew and grew. And then I decided, well, this I think is going to finally be 20 years later, that 50-state project.
Well, congratulations. And it's thrilling. And of course, Mid-Atlantic Symphony is so honored to be doing it this upcoming, or next weekend, or not next weekend, but the weekend after, in May. And we're excited because we get to do 2 states in both Maryland and Delaware, which is very exciting. And I know the audiences are going to absolutely love it because, as you described it, it is uniquely Peter Boyer, who's a very exciting composer, one of the best writing today for sure, but very much pays homage to music that's being written in this country both now and over the last 100 years. And is very, very fun. And also, as you've alluded to, pairs very, very well with other American composers. And we've got 2 of them on the concert, one by Aaron Copland and the other Jared Tate. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a really excellent concert and super, super fun. And I think that what you said about how music can really bring people together has been one of the most special parts about watching this project flourish and watching it reach 50 states because it means that people all over the country will be listening to this piece, and it really truly will be something that will be able to bring people together. And congratulations for it, because it's great.
Thank you. I mean, these projects I've learned so much about so much over the years, and which ones fit where and whom. And I just come to the basic denomination, especially when I discuss it with a composer for the first time, because I don't want them to think it's like, well, you're doing this, you'll get to work and all. Work is work, whether you're playing Beethoven, Grieg, Liszt, Prokofiev, Rachmaninoff, or Boyer. And really, I feel as though it's part of the evolution of music for us to for me at least, I have to feel as though I'm a steward of it. I'm kind of sailing the ship to go from where we were to where we're going. And I always tell the composers first thing, right off the bat, this is not about me. And then I say, this is not about you. And it's like, wow. But it truly is about the music and the evolution of the music, and just having new repertoire now that will be old repertoire in 30 years.
Yeah.
And we're so lucky as pianists to sit down and be able to play a couple of 100 years worth of music in 10 minutes. It's incredible. And I just wanted to be able to give that a shot, for the future. And I love the piano and I love the music. And working with living composers is a unique thing to do, because you really get to see them more as human beings. Mm-hmm. You can make suggestions that you think might say what they want, but in a more efficient way, pianistically or whatever. And they're very open to it. I would imagine that Chopin would have been the type of person who would never play twice the same way. They would say, I like that. You do that, mark it down, and it'll be that edition. There's so many different editions of his music, like Bach. He played and his students wrote. And I think it's interesting to do that, because I see the composers of the past more as human beings, and I feel their music more in the moment, definitely in the style of what they wanted, but just fresh, as though it's out of the press. So great to do this.
But and it's exciting for audiences to get projects like this, because they're going to hear things that they've not heard before, and it's always exciting to be an audience for a premiere. So so congratulations for that, and we're looking forward to it very much. Definitely get tickets at midatlanticsymphony.org. It's going to be a really, really fantastic time, and we'll see you there. We'll see you at the concerts. Thank you so much, Jeffrey.
My pleasure. Looking forward to meeting you for the first time in person.
Yes.
And on stage and making music together. I've only heard the most incredible things about you.
You as well.
And, here we are. This will bring together.
About time. I'm looking forward to it very, very, very much. All right. Thank you so much, Jeffrey.